Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Here I make book related videos. So if you are interested in books, do subscribe to my channel and do not forget to hit the bell icon so that you get notified every time I post a new video. In today's video, I am going to talk about the books that I read during April and May. April was not a very good reading month for me. Though I had all the time in the world to read during the lockdown situation, but somehow I got into the reading slump and could manage to read only 4 books. The first book that I read was The ABC Murders by Agatha Christie. The ABC Murders is a murder mystery featuring the famous detective Hercule Poirot. It is considered as one of the best works of Agatha Christie and is a thrilling adventure from start to end. One day, Poirot received an anonymous letter stating that a murder is going to happen at Andover, and below it are the initials ABC. Soon, it is discovered that a murder has happened at Andover of an old shopkeeper named Ellis. Soon the murderer proceeds to kill people in alphabetical order, leaving only one clue, the ABC railway guides. Who is the murderer? What is his motive? And why he has chosen Poirot as his adversary? With lots of twists and turns, the book reveals a murderer which is totally unpredictable. The book is a classic of Agatha Christie and demonstrates her skills as the queen of the mystery novels. And the next book is Finding Audrey by Sophie Kinsella. Whenever I need a bit of cheering up, I turn to Sophie Kinsella. Finding Audrey tells the story of a 14-year-old girl, Audrey, who is suffering from anxiety and depression after being bullied at school. She finds it hard to communicate with people, and so she is always wearing black sunglasses even when she is at home. Audrey's crazy family and her cute new crush, Linus, stand by her as she strives to recover. Though the book has a funny and light-hearted tone, but it deals with a serious issue like mental illness. And the next book is Norse Mythology by Neil Gaiman. I love this book. It was fun, fast-paced and informative. You get to know all about Norse mythology from this book. There are tales about Loki, who is both hero and a villain at the same time, about Thor, who is both strong, smart, dumb and weak at the same time in different stories, about Odin, who can resort to lies and cheating to get what he wants. I have also done a detailed review of this book. I'll leave the link in the description box. And the last book that I read during April was I've Got Your Number by Sophie Kinsella. Poppy Viart loses her engagement ring just weeks before her wedding, and her cell phone soon thereafter. Just then she discovers a cell phone in the trash bin, and since she desperately needs a phone, she decides to keep it. It turns out that the cell phone is a company property and the owner Sam wants it back. After a lot of bickering and bargaining, both Sam and Poppy decide to share the phone for the time being. Though it's a light-hearted romance, the crux of the story is Poppy's quirkiness. It's hilarious and I'm sure you are going to love it. So these were the 4 books that I read during April. Now coming to May. In May, I read 11 books, including a classic and some non-fiction. The first book that I read was The Gita for Children by Rupa Pai. The Gita is more about the way of life than religion. Bhagavad Gita offers the solutions to the problems of life. It is the one book that can replace several books in your bookshelf. The epic conversation of Lord Krishna and Arjuna is well explained in this book. The book is meant for children, but I think that the book is more suitable for teenagers. The language is simple, but certain concepts are not. And even the adults can read this book. If you think that Bhagavad Gita is too complex to understand, then this book is a good place to start with. The next book is The Room on the Roof by Ruskin Bond. Ruskin Bond wrote this book when he was just 17 years old, and what a masterpiece it is. The book tells the story of Rusty, who runs away from his guardian's house to live with his Indian friends. His guardian is a Britisher who hates Indians and considers them to be inferior, but Rusty found true love and companionship with his friends. There are its hills, bazaar, street vendors, lakes, and all the simple charms of a small town come alive in this book. The book talks of love, innocence, loneliness, and companionship. What a beautifully written book. And next book is Art Matters by Neil Gaiman. Art Matters is a collection of short essays by Neil Gaiman about art, reading, libraries, and why all of it is so important in today's time and age. This little book celebrates everything having to do with reading, libraries, creativity, and freedom of information and ideas. This is a perfect combination of Neil Gaiman's message for creative people and beautiful illustrations by Chris Riddle. The next book is Ghachar Ghochar by Vivek Shanbag. Ghachar Ghochar tells the story of a family who goes from being poor to rich and how it completely tears them apart. The story starts off with a man remembering his childhood days, the struggles of a lower middle class family, and how the simple things added to the happiness in life. Soon, the father lost his job and he invested the money he has in his brother's business. The business flourishes and life changed for the better. But sometimes having less is more, and having more complicates life. The story is beautifully told, but the ending is somewhat abrupt and sudden. The ending is cleverly structured and is open to individual interpretation. And the next book is Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. Little Women is a classic American story which follows the four March sisters: grown-up Meg, free-spirited Jo, kind Beth, and ambitious Amy as they grow from children to women. Thoroughly educational and entertaining, we learn through the eyes of the characters. Choices are not easy, regret is ever present, and times, of course, are difficult, but the March sisters are always hopeful. This book is so cozy and delightful. It is perfection in classic and a must read. Though I was disappointed when Jo turned down Laurie, but the story unfolds beautifully and reaches a perfect end. The next book is Seriously I'm Kidding by Ellen DeGeneres. Although I like Ellen, but I thought that this book was pretty lame. If you want to read an amusing time waster and you really like Ellen's sense of humor, then you might like it, but do not expect anything substantial. Some chapters are just of few words and some merely of few sentences. Seriously, the book isn't funny and a huge wastage of time. The next book is The Brokeback Mountain by Annie Proulx. Proulx has weaved a tragic love story of forbidden love in this short novella. The writing was so compelling that I read the story at one go. The cowboys Ennis Del Mar and Jack Twist were 20 when they spent an entire summer tending to sheep on the Brokeback Mountain. Ennis Del Mar was engaged to be married to a local sweetheart. Yet one cold night, while sharing a sleeping bag, they both engaged in an act of forbidden love. This one event commenced Jack's and Ennis' relationship for the next 20 years, a relationship that would prove disastrous for them and their families. The story is not about two men falling in love, but it is about love itself. The story is so intense and heartbreaking. The next book is Dear Ijewale, or A Feminist Manifesto in 15 Suggestions by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. Years ago, the author received a letter from her childhood friend who had just given birth to a daughter. In her letter, the friend asked the author for her advice on how to raise her daughter as a feminist. This book is the author's advice to her friend. The book is divided into several chapters, and every chapter contains an advice from the author on topics ranging from gender-neutral clothes to virginity to equality to careers and much more. This is an excellent book on women's rights and advocacy of equality among sexes. The book is short yet very impactful. The next book is The Strange Library by Haruki Murakami. A young boy after school goes to the library to find some books on the Ottoman text collection system. The librarian offers to help him, but then the strangeness begins. The boy is sent to an underground reading room where he is held captive by a sinister-looking old man. This is a really strange book, but I really enjoyed reading it. This is a quick intro to Murakami's works, and I'm really looking forward to reading more of him. However, I hope that this book doesn't scare the children from going to libraries. The next book is Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell. The book is the story of awkwardly dressed redhead Eleanor and the silent weird Asian Park. The two school misfits get to know each other during their daily bus ride to school and slowly fall into unconditional love. But Eleanor has a lot of issues to deal with at school and at home, mainly his abusive stepdad. This is a beautiful young adult novel. Though the story is a love story, but it also deals with serious issues like body shaming, poverty, bullying, domestic violence, and abuse. And the last book that I read during May was Cause Célèbre by Helen Fielding. Cause Célèbre tells the story of Rosie, who after a messy heartbreak with a TV show presenter, goes to Africa to work as a volunteer. She is in charge of a refugee camp in a war-torn country called Nambula, where famine and disease are common. Facing a shortage of funds and food, she returns to London to organize an appeal on television. She manages to rope in some celebrities who are looking for media attention, but are in for an education when they are confronted with the mass starvation on a huge scale. This is a human interest story wrapped in the form of a chick-lit novel. Very beautiful and a must read. So these were the books that I read during April and May. How many books you read during May? Do share with me in the comments. And if you like this video, do like, share and comment. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, do subscribe to my channel. Until my next video, bye and take care.